This video is intended purely to communicate information in accordance with the right of free speech.
Any advice given is a suggestion, and anyone seeking such advice should consult a competent professional.
All statements made in this video are my own honest opinion, and they do not represent any other person or body. As such, sharing matters covered in this video is in public interest.
Hi, fancy meeting you here in this little old place. I'm Tish, and this is Echo Echo. This is my second introduction because the folder filled up where I was talking into, and that's really annoying because I actually did quite a lot of talking off the cuff about this issue that I'm having with Optavia. All right, here's Will. Will. He's got a long tongue. It's been hot here. My air conditioner's not fixed. But finally had someone come out and say we need new air conditioners. But I was a bit like, oh shit, because when we have tradesmen come to the house, we have to like hide the dogs. They're not going to tell on us, but also the dogs will bark, so it's kind of annoying. All right, we are talking about Optavia. Me. I'm talking about Optavia because I was doing a little bit of a skimmity scam. It sounds too much like skibbity toilet. Sorry, triggering. And I was annoyed by what I saw Optavia doing. And that is one. Optavia is a starvation diet company that sells really restrictive diet plans and really terrible food, which is processed, hyper-processed. They also have in the past counted 2 sticks of gum as a snack. Anyway, I did a video yesterday, but check it out. It's a long one. It's about the latest fools flogging Enagic, and they're doing it under the guise of this men's group. Stay there, please. So Wilbur and Murphy are out at the same time, but Wilbur needs to stay here. Okay, so that's one thing I hate about them. Another thing I hate about them is they use religion to... Oh, so hang on. If you want to look at the terrible food, just have a look at Brianna Jewel and Hannah Alonso's videos they've done on them. Terrible, just the worst food. Looks dusty and gross, not appetizing. Anyway, second thing that I hate about them is that they heavily use religion and religious manipulation to recruit and keep people in. If you've watched any of Julie Joe's stuff about how that is really crappy, check it out, because joining your religion and relating it to your MLM is very destructive, and it can have really damaging results for your religion and for your belief, because your success can be tied to your belief, and if you're not succeeding, that can really play some mind games for what's happening in your life, and blaming God and all that sort of stuff, and can be very nasty. Okay, that's really crappy. I hate it. And then the third thing that they have been doing, which is relevant at the moment because of the current election, is they talk about political issues. And these top coaches use their influence to promote their political views. Now, do I do that with my YouTube channel? Yes, I do. I am pretty much, a left-wing person. I'm anti-capitalist. I don't like conservative values because they just basically are about controlling women. I don't like any sort of like pro-life isn't pro-life. It's anti-choice, and it's pro-birth. If the pro-life movement was pro-life, they would look after children once they're born, but they don't like that. Things like that. I will never understand or compromise on that. I understand the patriarchy has convinced people that that's what they should think, and especially internalized misogyny makes people think that other women, makes women and femme-presenting people think that other women and femme-presenting people are our competition, and that is the greatest trick of the patriarchy, make us fight amongst ourselves instead of them. So I don't like that they've been promoting their political values and tying it in with their MLM and, using that influence they have as a team leader or coach or whatever to get people to vote. Yeah, so that's my big problem. I'm upfront with my beliefs and my political beliefs, and this is what I believe. And I think that it's dangerous, especially because of the hypocrisy of these people promoting Trump when he is a despicable person. I don't like Kamala Harris either. It seems like she doesn't want to, the easiest thing in the whole freaking world would be to say Netanyahu needs to chill the fuck out, right? But she won't say it. She won't say it. And she can use the example that when she was on Fox, I was going to talk about Fox in a second. When she was on Fox, Bayer said, do you support trans? Do you support trans people getting gender-affirming care? And her answer to that was, I'll follow the law. And there is a law that says, that it is a human right for somebody to continue receiving the medical care that they have a diagnosis for or something like that. I don't know the exact wording, but that's kind of what it is. And she could say the same thing with Israel. She could say, we will follow the international law. We will follow the international law of which the ICC has ruled that Benjamin Netanyahu, as well as the Palestinian leaders, are war criminals, and we support, eventually, well, maybe that's a bit too hard for the hardcore Zionists, but saying, we do not agree that something to do with we would like Benjamin Netanyahu to be following the international law of not killing civilian and minimizing civilian deaths. Yeah. I don't think that's too controversial. And it'd have to be worded in a way that sort of didn't cause any issues. Like Israel, I think, will just bomb Iran to start a war if they feel like America's going to abandon them completely, which I don't know. However, they're not doing that. They're just willing to go down and, she just won't say anything negative about them. And always, I saw something today where she was saying, the amount of civilian deaths in Palestine is terrible. And then she mentioned 1,200 people getting killed on October 7th and how that was disgusting. Da, 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 da. It's okay for you to talk about Palestinian suffering without bringing up October 7th. And tell me again how 100K plus people being murdered, right? Mostly innocent people, is okay because of October 7th. Nothing makes it okay. Anyway, if they lose, that's going to be the reason. If they lose, absolutely. And I think it's shitty because the rest of the world, there are effects for everybody with this decision, and they won't pull a war criminal into line. And they look weak. Benjamin Netanyahu makes them look weak because he is playing them like a fiddle. And also, he does not give a fuck about them. He doesn't care. He wants Trump. Trump will allow him to do everything that he wants. And Biden is like, oh, we have such a unique friendship. He didn't give a fuck about you, bro. So ridiculous. Anyway, one of the problems is they get their news from Fox, and it isn't news. I was thinking about it the other day. It's not fair how these people are constantly lied to. They watch this network, who is their Fox's slogan used to be fair and balanced. Ridiculous. And even Brett Baer, the one who is supposed to be the good straight newsman, no, he was telling lies. He played a misleading soundbite, right? Because he thought that Kamala wasn't as smart as she is, and he got busted. But of course, not as many people are going to see the apology. However, I think it was good for her to go on there. I don't want Trump to win, and that means putting up with her. Yep. And then I hope she gets a lot of pressure put on her to stop this fucking genocide. Take him in, take him by the hand, take him fucking in. And the world is going to press for that. Yeah, so they knowingly lie to their audience every day. Every single person on that network lies to their audience. It's not disinformation. They are lies. Things like whatever Trump says, they will parrot. That all this shit about FEMA, right? And the stochastic terrorism of it all as well. So there's a hurricane. No, Will. Just stay there, please. Stay there. Just sit down. There's a hurricane. Donald Trump says FEMA's broke, accuses them of spending money on immigrants, and with Trump, every accusation is a confession because that's what he did. And people were repeating that, and that they could only get $750, that the FEMA was going to take their land if you accepted help. They repeated those lies on Fox News. It's not news, Fox Opinions. All right. And then there were militia going around and like confronting FEMA people. Like, it's just insanity, these people. But they have no chance because they're being lied to by Fox saying these things, whatever it is. They tell the lies. And I think there needs to be some sort of, punishment for them because of that. And I know that they did get sued from the Dominion election thing. They were the election machines, and Fox said that they were rigged and wrong, and that's the reason why Donald Trump lost the election. I mean, that's why it seemed like he lost the election. It was rigged because of that. And they were wrong. And Tucker Carlson said it, and he got fired because he cost them a lot of money. They got a big settlement because they were wrong, and they were defaming Dominion. And, I know that there's a group in Springfield, some Haitians are suing Donald Trump and JD Vance because of what they said about the migrants eating cats and dogs, and then the subsequent stochastic terrorist activities of threatening the people of Springfield. But the problem is that there isn't one particular target, and so it seems like that's going to get thrown out. So it's kind of shitty. Anyway, the point is that these people in Optavia are using their MLM to peddle this misinformation and lies as well. And you sort of think, well, what is it really about? Is it about the MLM making money? Is it about weight loss? Is it about religion? Is it about politics? And it's probably accurately a combination of all of that. Okay, so the Optavia people are not helping, and there's definitely some Trumpism. I think they even recall Kevin Tinto and his wife doing some sort of fundraiser for Carrie Lake, because they're all in Arizona. Carrie Lake. I was watching her debate with Ruben Gallego, and the moderators were terrible, and they just let her interrupt. She was awful, and she is awful. Yeah, she just kept talking over this poor guy. Although I thought that he needed to take control a little bit. I had to stop watching it because I was like, oh, she made me so angry. Yeah, so the Tinters, although Kevin's off Facebook, so I don't know what is happening. Is he on a Facebook, diet or social media, something? He doesn't really like social media anyway, because he was always like anti-TikTok. All right, so let's have a look at some posts from our top Optavia people using their influence for bad. Oh, Doug. It's the first one here. We've got Doug. And so just the top part here, this is what was on Doug's Facebook. After 15 year, I've already laughed at this for a long time. So after 15 year, this man has a school. I don't think he teaches at the school, thank God, but you know. Why I have chosen to leave, capital W, on the Y, which is not needed. Okay. Ooh, everybody would have been like, oh, look at Doug. Ooh. I don't know if they were making that noise, Tish, but all right. What he's actually chosen to leave. Oh, what a joker. He's such a funny guy. He's so funny. Did you see that? The growing lights just came on then. All right. I'm going to go bigger in a minute, but I'm just going to read this top bit. Why I have chosen to leave negative people, negative mindsets, excuses, and blaming out of my life, as I always have and continue to stay and keep growing with the greatest people and health and wellness company on the planet. 4 exclamation points. No, is that 4 or 5? Okay, it's 4. Okay. Optavia! 2 exclamation points. I started my weight loss journey with Optavia, lost 70 pounds, then became a coach in 2010. I did it first for my personal health, then income, then to make an impact in that order. I partnered with an incredible mission of publicly traded Optavia. That wording is terrible. I partnered with an incredible mission of publicly traded Optavia. That doesn't even make sense. Co-founded by my friend and mentor, Dr. A. Wayne Scott Anderson. Co-founded by his friend. Like, did you become friends with him before or after? Together with thousands of coaches, we have impacted millions of lives. Oh, another random capital. Starting with our own. For the last 15 years, my life has been so blessed, both in health and financially. What? You don't need capitals for those letters. Why is it so dumb? It's hurting me. And so has many others. So have many others. Subject verb agreement. Come on. Because of Optavia. The last couple of years have been harder. Oh, what's made it harder? Ooh. Mm. In times of hardship, people often lose sight of gratitude of why and what got them started and how far they have come. It's easier to look at the negative and lose sight and appreciate your and lose sight and appreciation of the journey. People have always asked me, Doug, how are you so resilient? Have they? Yeah, people. That made me laugh more than I thought it was going to, actually. Well, I have a 2008 story of my furniture biz where I wanted to quit and choose the easy route, but I didn't. I allowed it to teach me, guide me, and dig your heels and how to dig in and go hard the easy route, but I didn't. Again, where I wanted to quit and choose the Well, I have a 2008 story of my furniture biz where I wanted to quit and choose the easy route, but I didn't. I allowed it to teach me, guide me, and how to dig in and do hard things. First, push the easy recipe, push the easy escape button. I finished that journey with integrity and my head held high. 5 years later, before stepping on my next season of been in since season. Shut up. Speaking of right now and harder. Ooh, where's this going, Doug? Ooh. In fact, my Optavia business and the amount of clients we are serving is more than half the size it was 3 years ago. Really? I imagine that's taking a hit on your pocket. Of course, everyone who wants to coach and build when it's easy and when momentum is behind you. Of course, everyone wants to coach when it's easy and when momentum is behind you. But when things slow down a bit, it causes you to evaluate who you are, where you need to go, where you need to change or grow, and what you need to have when opposition and tough times come. But when the going gets tough, the tough and the winners power through a storm, even if they are not getting paid as much as they used to. But they press in, lead, and partner with the mission they were called to, especially when the mission has been so good to them. He's saying, all y'all out there are bitches. I have respected a few people that have used this season to reevaluate life course and begin a new path. Yeah, great. Thanks for the platitudes, generalities. They know who they are as we have had beautiful conversations, but most people, tough kids. That was the wrong way. They know who they are as we've had beautiful conversations, but most people in human nature is to leave when the money starts to run dry. It gets hard and they see a flashy new thing that seems like easy or fast money. Hi, I'm back. I was falling asleep before. Here's a picture of it. I have pie ready to unroll. Ready on roll. I was watching Donald Trump get interviewed. He lies so much, but
interrupted. I was supposed to tell you about a saying he got wrong, but I'm about to tell you something different. That he said he mixed up hunky dory and peachy keen. I can't remember if he said peachy dory. Yeah, I think he did say peachy dory. What? Why won't anyone just be honest with this man? Like, I know fascist is way worse, but the man said peachy dory. Okay, I'm concerned. Actually, like, I was almost shaking with anger in my car earlier because I'm just so mad that the Democrats and Kamala and Biden are willing to risk losing the election because they won't admit to the genocide or put Bibi Netanyahu into line. Like, it's so, I said it about Joe when he wouldn't drop out. It's so selfish. It's so selfish. And the point is to make it all of the Americans complicit in genocide, because what are they going to say after they're elected? You agreed to this. You knew that we were going to be going after Palestine. You voted us in. We told you. We told you that we like the genocide, that we like Israel. I'm trying to like edge away from Murphy because I'm really angry at him because he, like, I was cleaning up and I just about finished and he pulled the guts of a dog bed out, and I was so cranky because like he's been at home all day on his own. Not on his own, with the other dogs, like without supervision. And I'm here and he's like destroying a bed. I'm like, dude, if you want attention, come, I'm here. So I was really cranky. Anyway, Donald Trump sucks. Murphy, I'll get over it with Murphy. I saw a nice puppy. Okay, shut up. All right. The point is, Peachy Dory. But listen to the other stuff I have to say as well. All right, bye.
He said all of the evidence from J6 is gone. Like, dude, in fact, there's a massive amount of evidence that's just been released. Anyway, People believe him. Why did I say that? Because, what was I going to say? I was falling asleep and I'm as bad as him. I'm as bad as him. The stories go nowhere. Okay, so we are in the middle of Optavia. I got pie, but it's too hot at the moment, so I'm going to do a little bit of talking. A little bit of talking. Little bit of talking. Oh, that's body. I don't want body. Go check out the live. I know at the beginning of this, I might have said, oh, we're going live tomorrow. And then I didn't post this video. Okay. Now, the reason, I think I said, I don't know, I can't remember my introduction because it was a couple of days ago now. During times of lack or dips, what you will see is often people take cheap shots at a company, or in this case, Optavia, that they once praised, forced everyone else to praise, and Optavia paid these people very well. I can tell you this, Optavia has been more consistent to the coaches than the coaches have been to Optavia. Oh. Are you mad? You mad, bro? Yeah, cheap shots. They're taking cheap shots. Who's forcing people to praise them? I think that you can probably be indoctrinated. So when you're in the cult, you think it's good, but then when you escape the cult, then you take cheap shots, I guess. These same people, sadly, often try and burn the house down that paid them really well for many years on the way out. No, I haven't seen that happen very often. The people who, well, like, people who are earning money don't leave. Why haven't you left, Doug? If you want to continue being on a diet into your 60s? Sounds like a dream. Often through manipulative confusion, noise, drama control, and these type of people, these types of people, or this type of people. No, that's not. These types of people resist to stay and face the music of their actions or hurt they caused. What? How could you ever expect anyone to stay in this starvation diet cult environment? Like, do you want them to stay? Even though they don't want to lose weight anymore, they're not making any money, they feel terrible about themselves. I'm thinking of the unlikely pastor's wife. Yeah, because when she left, she did kick up a stink. She did get a fair amount of drama, right? Because she was very good friends with Becca Tinter, and they haven't done it since, but the Woods used to have their own convention type place. They had their own convention, not a part of the official Optavia convention, and I haven't seen them do that in 2 years because they used to fill a church. I don't think they do that anymore. Anyway, Becca talked about pruning her plant or her flower, like, bush. Don't be rude. Don't be rude and think of that bush. How there's like dead leaves on it. And she was talking about Alison. Like, gotta get rid of some of those destructive friendships. What's Alison supposed to do? Stay and fucking feel like dirt and shit because she realized that she was never going to be, the perfect size and that her eating was disordered and all the stuff that went along with that, She could see that they were using religion and she didn't appreciate that, and I can understand it. She's a pastor's wife, If I saw people, real Christians, not related to MLMs, they don't think that people in MLMs are doing, like, the right thing, All right. It's easier to leave, run, hide versus take personal responsibility. And that's ironic too because the people I've seen leave Optavia, they do have a lot of self-reflection where they do take personal responsibility and they apologize for what they've done. And, especially because they know that they may have been responsible for somebody, not feeling good about their body. So I've seen people make amends like that. Here's what I know about my time with Optavia. Here's what I know about my time with Optavia is for 15 years we have stood in integrity and honesty. God. This man has a school. He's written a book. Can't even write a fucking sentence to save himself. My God. Okay. I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm fine. And he's also really, really rich and privileged. I'm fine. As a public company, we face the court of facts every 3 months on the New York Stock Exchange. What does that even mean? You face the court of facts. Does that mean you have to have like some sort of investigation every 3 months? I think there is some sort of report you have to do through the New York Stock Exchange, but I don't think it is what he thinks it is, you know? We are not perfect. I am not perfect. Oh, come on. Come on, Doug. You don't really think that. He doesn't. He thinks he's perfect. He just has to say that so people think he's humble. I know the truth, Gucci Cowboy, and would love to have many do-overs, but good or bad, we face the facts. Do you? You face the facts that MLMs are 1%, have a 1% success rate, that people who get off of the 5-in-1 can often be diagnosed with malnutrition, that you were using Ozempic or semaglutide similar while you were training for a body competition, and you didn't tell anyone that you were using Ozempic, and you insinuated that it was the Optavia program. So we don't lie or inflate, good or bad. Okay. But we do love and serve people well. I think you love yourself a lot, a lot. Here's what I know Optavia is. Again, the fucking wording of this, my God. I'm okay, I'm fine. Publicly traded in the New York Stock Exchange since 2008. Now, they'll make a big deal about that because that's when the global financial crisis was upon us, and that's when the company was growing. So to be like, oh my God, not growing, but that's when they went public. So it gives them this like false legitimacy because anyone can trade anything on the New York Stock Exchange. Like what it's worth is the important thing. So that's why when we were looking at the body stock the other day on our live, it's a problem. What time is it? Okay. 100% debt-free, so lots of companies are. 165 million in cash. Here is what I know Optavia is 165 million in cash. Of what? For what? Going to what? What the fuck do you mean? In the bank? I bet you that's what he means. Dr. A, who's the founder, has $165 million in cash just sitting in in the backyard or in a safe or something. Just in cash, $165 million. Why would you have $165 million in cash? A little bit suspicious, don't you think? Full partnership with LifeMD. Brand new Ascend GLP-1. That's the semaglutide, Ozempic, Wegovy, that's the thing. And Performance Line launching on January. Okay. I'm not pissed off. I'm not pissed off. Okay. I'm not. Okay. I don't care that you are launching anything in January or on January. He was going to maybe put a date there, and that's why the on. Yeah. Okay. Optavia is lead, capital L on the lead. Why? 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 It's not the name of anybody. It's a proper noun. Fuck. It's not a proper noun, I mean. Optavia is led by the best and most integrious humans. I don't think that's a word. I need to check now. Okay. Integrious. All right. It's a word, but it doesn't need a capital. Dr. A, Dan Bell, Nick Johnson, Dan Chard. Sounds like Chode. Dan Chode. I don't know. He might be nice. 100% unity and lockstep with company and field and a crystal clear strategy through 2026. Thousands of Optavia strong Optivists who are leveling up their health right now and committed to helping the millions of people who need a miracle in their health. And you can't do that for people. You make them sick. You make them disordered. You make them the worst. So that's it. You're just the worst. Okay, I'm going to pause there and have my dinner with them. All right. It's an honor to be an Optavia coach. It has helped millions get healthy. Sauce, please. Not tomato sauce. Sorry, that was such a dad joke there. It has helped funded so many of our passion projects. Yeah, it has funded your passion projects. Yep. Just you, though. Like the 1%, not 1%. Probably more like the 0.4%, you know? Passion projects like financial giving to charities. What the fuck? Like using your finances to give to charity and ministries we support. Wrote our books, took our tour, started our school, Valor Global Online. And yes, even launching a gym project that we started 3 years ago in January. And yes, what? Do you realize you are not making a speech? That's very much like what you would say in a speech, not a written piece of information. Yeah, we're so lucky that all those things fucking happened, right? My friends, I encourage you to use a comma after you say my friends, because that's generally best practice. Fuck. I'm fine. I'm not angry. My friends, I encourage you to never forget where you came from, how you got there, what or who got you started on your path to healing, hope, and health, or health. Just one of those. This one life we get to live is a beautiful thing. I mean, not for everybody. There's some people who have really shitty lives. And sometimes that's not their own fault, you know? Don't get caught up in the noise of a toxic political climate. Yeah. Imagine getting caught up in a toxic political climate. That not getting caught up in politics, that's privilege. Because people who are not privileged, they really have to be thinking about politics all the time, because it could affect their lives at any moment. And anyone who is coasting along in this world without having to worry who is in charge, privilege. Or a business or new business that costs you relationships, your integrity or reputation. It's not worth it. Life is short. So true. So true. Oh my God, so true. It doesn't matter if you lose all those relationships as well, because get new relationships with all the people from Optavia, right? Because that's who you recruited anyway. All right. That's what Doug had to say. Oh, there's more. So life is short, so let's love and serve each other on this side of eternity. I'm really tired today. My alarm actually woke me up this morning. That doesn't happen. I usually wake up before my alarm, but my alarm, and I was like, what? And I'm usually like, I get up and go. All right, people. So that's why I'm leaving negativity behind. Optavia is alive and well. Double space. You don't need a double space after, like, punctuation mark. Why does he do this? Why? Even with the noise out there, we are sharpening our axe. What? What's that a metaphor for? Sifting through the noise. What? You don't sift through noise? And ready to serve and change the world together with Optavia. Never been more proud. So, 2025 to 2030 are about to be insane. Prayer hands and bicep curl. All love, Doug. And then there's a picture of Doug and Tia with Dr. A. Like, who are they with? Dr. A. Yeah, great, Doug. And I can't remember if I took any pictures of, like, the responses, but I was like, oh my God, Doug, you had me worried there. I was so worried. I was really worried about you. Okay, we're moving on to the Morenzas because, so Summer, you might have seen her around on Erin Bees' channel because she does some pretty wild lives, and at the moment her husband is going through a it's cancer, but I can't remember. Is it prostate cancer? Is it the same one my dad got? I can't remember. All right. So her husband Mike, diagnosed with cancer. I would say it's almost been a year now. He is not doing traditional treatment, so that's his right, and that's their right as people with free will. But it's just bleak, and like, to ignore science like that. All right, so Summer, her before and after are pretty just drastic. She was considerably overweight. So I wish it were different. I wish they were going with science and science-backed research and science-based. They were making science-based decisions. They are not, and we've already seen what happens when that happens. Now, they've got something slightly differently, although Jessie Lee, she got a little bit religious. Yeah, it seems like these guys really rely on religion a lot more than Jessie Lee, and, I'm sure the outcome will be similar, but yeah, that's the extent of it. It's depressing, and I hope that it's not too late for them to do treatment, because he's going to die if they don't, follow up with anything after this. So Summer's been in Optavia for ages. She was recruited by Tia, their friends, and now I picked this particular post because I thought it was really odd. Let's take a look. I gained 35 pounds in just 1 month. This is 5 days ago, and she takes us back to 2014. It sounds unbelievable, but in July 2014, after breaking my arm at a 4th of July parade, that's exactly what happened. Not being able to work out left me feeling defeated and crushed. I had no idea how to maintain my weight without exercise. That's when I realized I needed a plan that worked even when I couldn't be active. Fast forward to now, breaking my ankle is the first broken bone I've had since 2014, and I'm so thankful I learned from that experience. I'm already down at 5.2 pounds in just 8 days. Oh, God damn it. Inflammation and injuries often go hand in hand. Do they? Really? Dr. Summer? But instead of letting it knock me completely off track, I decided to lean into our program. And let me tell you, I feel amazing, even while staying off my foot and focusing on healing. Did you know you don't have to work out to lose weight? Really? Really? Fucking hell. Or if you're working out but not seeing the fat loss you want, I can help with that too. We offer over 10 different programs for every stage of life, from teens to nursing, moms, diabetics to athletes. No matter where you are in your journey, we have a plan that can help you reach your goals. Yuck. Yes, they do have teens. Now, the reason why I wanted to look at this one is because I gained 35 pounds in just 1 month. Now, why would she have such big weight gain? She just broke her arm. So I think it's really suspicious that you can just put on 35 pounds in 1 month when you just had a broken arm, because, like, I'm sure that you can still walk with the broken arm. It just tells me that there's an element of yo-yo dieting. And when people come off these diets, they often put so much weight on because their bodies are used to, like, the metabolism the way it is. And so when they start messing with it even a little bit, and I've heard, like, 10, 100 kilojoules or 10 calories can put them over and start packing on the weight, because your body is in a state of malnutrition sometimes, or being hungry. The next time you eat, and depending on what you eat is how you carry it, but the next thing you eat, your body's going to go, oh, we're not going to get fed. I'm saving this shit, because this bitch don't eat. She doesn't eat. I'm saving this. I've got a little bit of energy. I'm going to save it over here, waiting for her to eat again, And that's really sad if that's where you're at. So it's interesting that she's reflecting on that now, because she does have a leg in a moon boot. I think that this is really just a post about disordered eating. So Summer's proving the point here. So this is Summer's husband. This is the guy with cancer. All right. He is also an Optavia salesperson. He is not taking the traditional route, and he is selling Optavia at every moment. But he's also got some opinions on the election, which I fucking hate, because he has influence with certain people. So this is Mike's post from the 24th of September. $113,636 sounds like a good annual wage. Elon Musk makes that per minute. Let's think bigger. Into what? Doing what? How? What are we thinking bigger about? Like, you can't policy yourself into that, Anyway, some people had some things to say. Wait, the economy is horrible under Biden. If Trump was pres, he would be making 10 times that. Haha. Pat, you're an idiot. Absolute idiot, Pat. Fucking stupid. Trump inherited Obama's economy. That just isn't true. It just isn't true, okay? The economy is good. It's probably the strongest bounce back economy in the world after COVID, and the jobs numbers are insane. The inflation is down. The stock market is at, like, record highs, and yeah, unemployment's down. Like, they avoided a big strike. Yeah. Trump had 2 years of leftover Obama, and then he ran everything into the ground. So that's just bullshit, and no one's saying anything. Okay. Are we admiring this when kids in the US don't have food to eat? I don't get it. Give him a prize for making lots of money, and he can help feed kids. Seriously, how much money do people need when others are suffering? Beautiful. Amazing. Right? Like, absolutely correct. I was listening to the Majority Report today, and Sam Cedar, who is great, and he's actually the voice of Hugo in Bob's Burgers. Amazing. He's such a good journalist. He said that he thinks billionaires shouldn't exist. Like, they should be taxed so that you can never have a billionaire. And they should be. I agree. Yeah, and that's right. He makes $100,000 a minute. So he could well afford to, fund food initiatives, and that would be so booming for the economy. People not living in poverty. It would be amazing for the economy. Okay. and this is what Mike has to say. This is disgusting, I think. I absolutely admire the fact that he and others like him help little kids see what's possible. So thanks for being a good inspiration. But also, he didn't do anything. He inherited. He just is the money. He has no initiatives. He's a fucking con man as well. We need more good people that make a lot of money because they do good with it. Elon's positive impact on the world is monumental. I like Tony Robbins' goal of 1 billion meal challenge, which he met ahead of time. I don't know it. Okay. But what are they doing good with though, Mike? We need more good people. He's not a good person. You've been hoodwinked by this fucking megalomaniac, eugenicist, a birther. Like he wants his own seed to be out there because he thinks that makes him a dominant male. He's pathetic. I've never even heard of Tony Robbins and this 1 billion meal challenge. If it was so good for poverty and being left-leaning, I would have heard about it. Can you imagine that? I haven't heard about Tony Robbins' goal of 1 billion meal challenge. It's like every bullshit thing that Trump says, you know? On the first sort of day that the Hurricane Helene cleared, Trump went in and they built him this like fake dais, which is just pathetic because they didn't do it for, you know, anyone else. And he arrived with, what are they called? I just heard it. Like, I don't know, some sort of like outreach group that he supports that is conservative. And he was like, yeah, we came down with water and fuel or gas, you know, oil, you know, that's right. With water and oil, he was saying. And it's like, no, you didn't bring that. You came in the car with them. You didn't bring it down. You have nothing to do with it. You're just here for a photo opportunity, you know? Like, absolutely just the worst humans. Yeah, so this man has influence and he thinks Elon Musk is great. He is a foreigner, a South African man who has put millions and millions of dollars into Donald Trump. Why would he need to do that? Consider the motive behind that. He wants Donald Trump to do stuff with him for him because he knows that if he's elected, Donald Trump owes him. And he's doing shit like giving away $1 million to people to sign a petition so that they can use the information. I think he's going to get into trouble for that one because you're not allowed to have a raffle without offering a free way of entering. And there's no free. You have to be like, yeah, it looks suspicious as hell. Anyway, Helene says, I don't agree. And Mike says, I appreciate that. This is when I'd love to sit and chat with you and your husband. I've always respected your family and how you lead. I could be wrong and learn a lot. Yeah, that's probably one of the better ones. I can't see that he's going to change his mind because he's already spouting all of their talking points automatically as the first case like scenario. Yeah. Go Helene. I'm so glad that he had somebody pushing back on him. Somebody else says, and this must be a relation, does he also help people see what is possible when you father 12 children with 3 women? Careful who you choose as figures for admiration, especially with your Christian values. I don't care about that. I care that he is transphobic to his trans daughter. That really shit. And it sounds like that's why he bought Twitter, so that he could control trans people, you know? This is Musk, not Mike. Yeah, but I think that that's really like shitty to judge someone just because of that. If you're just going to say because he's got 12 children with 3 different women, I don't care. However, because of who he is and what he has said about having children and leaving his mark on the world, blah, 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 blah. That is concerning. And it's the same with, like, I hope that they also put that sort of challenge on Trump. Like, you can't, how can you support Trump? Okay, this person says, jeepers, jinkies. That's 6 million and an hour. I don't know how accurate that is. Sorry. Yeah. And then Mike says, check it out. Yes, that's how much. Now, interestingly, this link, this is a weird, like, crypto news site. So it's interesting that that's what he's chosen to get his news from. All right. Mike says here, we need God in America again. The Bible is filled with stories, experiences, instructions, laws, and more. The Bible is a book about one true God among other gods, a nation among other nations, people living amongst the other people, the kingdom above kingdoms. To remove the idea of nations, governments, rules, and rulers from a biblical worldview is the beginning point of a godless society. That is it's just unequivocally not true. There are countries that do not, like Australia doesn't have a biblical worldview. We're doing just fine. The Bible is a book with strong political concepts. The greatest reason to keep the Bible/church out of politics and political spaces is to keep God out. Is that advice? Because I go, yeah, let's get God and money out of. Yep, let's get it all out. Let's get rid of God. I didn't realize, like, it was going to be that easy. We'd just say, yep, get rid of it all. Get the church out of politics and political spaces. And then we'll get God out of there. I know. It's wishful thinking. It isn't going to happen. Oh. Yeah, so, and this is definitely MAGA coded as well. We need God in America again. Ugh, fuck off. Okay. Next. My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. James 1:19. Imagine America if we practice this. So how do you explain your titty baby Trump? He is such a whinging little bitch. He complains about everything. Wah. They fact-checked me because I was lying. Wah. They wouldn't let me overthrow the government. Wah. I don't, like, this just is just ridiculous and so hypocritical. And again, he has influence. And it's not okay because the other thing that he's doing is selling an MLM. Come be a coach with me. We are rebuilding America. How? No. How does that rebuild America? It doesn't make sense. You are offering nothing to this world by being an Optavia coach. Just insanity. This is still Mike. I just heard 77% of 21-year-olds are not eligible to join the military. Man, my job as a health coach is enormous. I've got to be honest, some things have to change faster. Or we will lose our country. That's Donald Trump language right there. What do you think is happening? Go outside your house. Are you being robbed and raped and pillaged and killed? No. It's not happening. It's just so insane. Like, just there. This person says, I'm a combat vet. The military is the last place I want them. Daughter was already at MSU for the shooting. The army did some extremely bad things to me and put me in hell. Just one minor example. I was reassigned from one battalion to another. Took a few days. Oh, where did it go? Where did it just go? Took a few days to get there, but but got there at night. First break at formation, the order for the ground invasion was a go. We had our we had an hour to pack before the ground invasion started. Desert Storm was not easy as a job, as CNN may have told it. The story gets a lot worse. Yeah, so I almost just called him Kevin because it's giving Kevin vibes. Mike, stay in your lane.
Okay. I didn't really offer any commentary on what this dude said, and perhaps I should do that. And what? I just said, oh, I almost called him Kevin because he's giving Kevin Tinter vibes. And he is, and he does. I don't know what the hell this person in the comments was saying. Like, what are you talking about, dude? Is he glad that he said the military is the last place I want them? Daughter was already at MSU for the shooting. So was she involved in a mass shooting or is she? Yeah. This sounded like trauma dumping. Like, no offense to John. Sorry, John. Like, I'm sure you're a cool dude. But also, to compare yourself, right, to this Kevin, okay, I hope John has therapy and money for therapy and that he's being looked after as a veteran. Yeah, that's one thing that the US, it's quite the racket that they can have the biggest budget item is military, but they don't look after their vets. And, like they have this proud military history, but the vets are often forgotten. Yeah. Anyway, so for Kevin, oh, fuck, I did. For Mike to equate yourself with the military, your job is important as an Optavia coach, right? Is so important because you're going to be shaping the military into like being eligible to serve. Is that what I'm hearing? You're fucking kidding me. That's your justification for being in a predatory fucking pyramid scheme, which is my opinion. That's just out of touch with reality and grandiose. I'm sorry, but you're just not that important. Okay? And if you're trying to have some sort of legacy to leave behind, this is not it. I was very tired, obviously. So I didn't sort of like dig into this one as much as I should have, and that's why it's good to edit the next day. Yeah, I don't like this at all. All right, back to it.
I just don't like that he's using his influence to influence people because he's not responsible with his influence. Okay, is that the last one? Nope. God. I didn't have a video for this, but for close to 20 years, I've been working tirelessly on my health, and in that journey, I've dug up so much I almost buried it. Ew, it feels like our government is trying to kill us. The ingredients in our foods are horrendous. This last decade, me and my wife have been helping thousands navigate through the hurdles of healthy eating. Oh, really? Have you? You've been helping them with your processed food? Like, what a pile of shit. I'll say I've seen improvements as a nation, but the stats say otherwise. We can do so much better. I'm not big on placing blame on outside circumstances, but it sure would help knowing crazy ingredients would no longer be allowed in our food supply. What about anything that has a proprietary blend? That would simplify things. So regardless of your political bent, please look deeply into one of the two boxes we have to choose from. I mean, we only get an either-or choice. Unfortunately, yes. Be slow on your choice. Really think it through. Ask questions. Pray. Confidently vote. We always want the same thing, but see different ways to the goal. I don't think that it is that simple. That, so regardless of your political bent,
Yeah, it's safe to say that I wasn't giving the best commentary on those posts last night. So, yeah, uh, regarding that political bent, what do you think your political bent is saying when you have an excerpt from the rubbish speech that Robert Kennedy Jr. Made when he decided to shake hands with the devil, right? Because he's so desperate for power that he's willing to do anything, and that he is so spineless that his entire family of very distinguished political, a very distinguished political name have not supported him. And everything we hear about him is just makes him seem like a maniac. He's weird. They are all weird. Remember when we were calling conservatives weird and they really hated it and then everybody stopped? The fuck? Like, that's so dumb. We need, like, they hate that. Keep calling them weird because they're weird. So, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is anti-vax. He was responsible for deaths in Samoa because he had a disinformation campaign that resulted in a bunch of people not getting vaccinated for measles, I think, and people died. Yeah. He doesn't care about being healthy. He honestly doesn't. And he used to be a fairly liberal, uh, lawyer. Sam Cedar, who I've mentioned twice now, knew him well in the New York scene and said, he would consider him a friend at the time, but he's really, gone a different way. He also had a worm in his brain. That is not like, they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs. He had a worm in his brain. So yeah, not exactly the healthiest person. And the man standing beside him, that guy, healthy? I'm sorry. No, he's not healthy. Absolutely not. Okay? When Trump calls other people fat, pot, kettle, ring ring, is pot calling the kettle black? He's not, although I think he's lost weight. He has lost some weight. So I think he's done a bit of the Ozempic. But he hasn't gained any muscle. It just looks like everything's hanging off him because his suits are too big at the moment. His jackets have come down to his knees. They're crazy. The other day when he was on Fox and Friends, he everybody was saying, "Oh, they put a pad down underneath him because he poops on the white couch." But it was honestly his jacket. Like, it was so long, it looked like he was sitting on a towel. Yeah, it's just for Mike to be saying, "Oh, like being healthy is so important, and we want more restrictions, and we want fucking we want to know what's in our food, etc., etc." Did you know that Trump and Project 2025 wants to take away the power of the FDA, which does those sorts of things? That there was a listeria outbreak in with some deli meat because the regulations were loosened when Donald Trump was president. So yeah, keep on fucking that. This is propaganda, and him making that statement, regardless of your political bent, please look deeply into one of the two boxes we have to choose from. Yeah. Look, that's good advice. Be slow on your choice because you've got one fascist dictator wannabe and then another who's a genocidal supporter. It's really shit versus poop and poop versus shit. It is bad choices. Yeah. So it doesn't really matter what this says. This is Mike using his influence to say, look at this, these men are healthy. And what is his influence? His influence is as a health professional. We know he's not. We know, the truth of it. But that's the point, that he can have some authority in this. And it's irresponsible and immoral. So, yeah. I think this is the second to last post. Yay, because it's late. And I was already really tired today. Jeez. All right, thanks for putting up with me. Bye. I think this is the response because, I mean, I don't know. This is when Robert Kennedy Jr. was talking about, oh, I want to make America healthy again. And he's responsible for a measles outbreak in American Samoa and people died. So fuck him. Spoken in toddler talk. I fucking hate this. I'm just gonna read it straight. I won vote Kamala because her is black and this is my mostest favorite color in the whole wide world and her is a girl, so I will be on her side. That is so fucking racist. Like that's so fucking racist. This is what I hear when adults say I'm voting for her because she's a woman or because she's black. No, you are not 5 years old and picking the pink donut. This is disgusting. Like, absolutely disgusting. And what have we got? Oh, a laughing react. And Mike says, yep, I'll admit, I voted similar to this in my 20s. He seems cool. That's problematic. Oh, he voted for Obama, in other words. Or Clinton. No, he's a bit older. It would have been Clinton. I was disgusted. And I am disgusted at that. Like, Amy Trevor Martin? Fuck you. Yeah. Also, I've literally heard nobody say that. And she doesn't lead with it. She doesn't mention it. When someone asked her about it, like Trump questioning her ethnic identity, she barely lingered on it long enough. I think she said, oh, he's an unserious man, which is absolutely true. Yeah. We made it. We made it. Looks like we made it. And I only like dozed off a couple of times, so that's good. Good for you, Tish. Good for you. It's gonna take me ages to like the sleeping is fine, not really, but editing it is such a pain in the ass. Thanks for being with me. I hate Optavia. I hate this feeling of being uneasy. It feels like it is just like you're off kilter the whole time, which is white privilege. And the reason why I'm saying it's white privilege is I read the book White Women by Sarah Rowell and Regina Jackson. They're actually in Matt Walsh's Race, Am I Racist? And the answer to that question is yes, he is extremely racist, just like this person that we just looked at. In that he is at this dinner. It's called Race to Dinner, and it's anti-racist. I know I'm wrapping up, but I just really wanted to make this point because I think it's important that Sarah Rao, I think that's how I pronounce her name, and Regina Jackson, their book White Women, in it they describe this feeling of unease, and they talk about the first Trump presidency and with reference to white women because white women, middle-aged white women, that's my demographic, and we are responsible like that. They overwhelmingly elected Donald Trump and probably will again. I'm hoping Roe is more of a factor for them. But yeah, that feeling of unease that we have at the moment is something that people of colour always have. Because there's always someone after them. And I think I felt it especially after the first debate with Joe Biden and no, I think it was after the assassination attempt and the hopelessness and absolute dread that filled me, but was also, like online and all that sort of stuff. It was a very just like I talked to my therapist about it because it was just getting me down so much, as well as the guilt of Gaza and so on. And yeah, it just made me really reflect on my privilege, which is the goal, right? And yeah, it makes me almost think that we deserve what we get. Whatever happens, we We deserve it. And yeah, the leopards are going to eat our face too. The middle-aged white women, if under Trump, this is what some people call it the Taliban, and it's going to be like the Taliban. Just because you're not wearing a veil doesn't mean it's not like that. I mean, not wanting people to have education and women just being baby factories and so on and so on. So yeah, I apologize that I'm making this video a lot longer, but I think it's a really important point. And, white privilege is something that needs to be deconstructed, and, we need to constantly be combating against it. And yeah, that fear is palpable, and talking about it helps a little bit. So yeah. Okay. Now I'm gonna wrap up. Bye.
Anyway, off kilter. I'm off kilter. Everything feels awful. Everything feels awful. Everything feels bad. Because the American election has, a butterfly effect throughout the world, and it's just frustrating and scary because we don't know what's going to happen. So I'm just out here saying, don't get your political views from an MLM. And because these people at the top of the MLMs, they're no one special. They just aren't. They just bought into this company job, stuck it out because they probably are privileged. So, like a wife could be doing it on the side when the husband is, maintaining the household, or vice versa, you know. So it's just, yeah, it's shit. And I think that, yeah, they're not informed voters. They get lied to in their face, bold-faced lie. So I wish there was more positivity at the end here. But look, there's dogs. You can see Minnie's belly. Minnie! Minnie! Oh, Minnie. Can you see her tail wagging? Oh, a little tail wag. Oh, Minnie. Maybe. I think she's gonna 22nd. She's due on the 30th, I think. So she's due soon. Have some babies. But yeah, that's my story of a Tuesday night. Oh, Fifi. Fifi. Frida. Frida. Figa waggy tail. Fifi. Oh, she's not wagging her tail. Jeez. All right. Thanks for being with me. I will catch you next time. All right. Hopefully I'll be less tired.